Hey guys, TC Mabe coming at you from TC Gaming. Doing another live stream. It's a little bit late tonight. It's about 10 minutes of 12 over here on the east coast of New Jersey. But I just wanted to get on real quick and wrap up my series that I've been doing this week to help Synty with their Synty store lockdown sale, where they're running 50% off their top 3D assets until the end of May. Purchased quite a few of the packs over the last period of time that I've been working with these things, and they're great assets. Come with a lot of great resources. And again, one of the reasons that we like to buy directly from the Synty Polygon store is that you're purchasing the developers of the content. You're cutting the middleman out, making sure that they get direct funding, for this, and helps to support the devs. The additional benefit is that you get the Unity packages and the Unreal packages. So if you buy direct from the store, you're going to have both of those in the event that you decide to switch engines midstream. Most of my live streams are actually all of my live streams are geared towards users of the Unreal Engine package, but you might learn something from Unity as well if you get a chance to check these things out. So tonight we're going to be featuring the Polygon Apocolypse pack, and then I'm also going to talk a little bit about the dungeon or the city zombie pack rather, Polygon City Zombies right here, and then I also have the Gang Warfare pack coming at you tonight. So these are a little bit bigger packages. The Apocalypse is normally $300, currently on sale for $150. And if you buy this as part of a larger package, you actually get an additional 10% off. And then the Polygon WarFare normally $60 on sale for $30, and the City Zombies is normally $50 on sale for $25. So tonight I'm basically going to go through those, and then I'm going to move probably onto some other stuff. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do after that, but I'll probably kill this live stream at the end of the Synty stuff. And if I decide to start another one up, depending on viewer interest, then I'll start a new one where we can just kind of, free verse a little bit if there are questions out there. The last couple live streams I did, the kind of organically turned into a larger discussion and got a little bit off topic. So I don't want to do that in these videos, but sometimes that happens. So thank you for joining and bearing with me as we go through them. So the first pack we're looking at here tonight is the Polygon Apocolypse pack. They have two different maps in here. One is just a demonstration. The other one is a demonstration bunker. Normally they have an overview map where I can just do a fly through to show you the assets that are in the pack. This one is so large, I guess, that they decided not to do the individual, and they just did the demonstration in the bunker. So I'll just start this up, and actually I'm going to just zoom it out here to a larger viewport, and we'll just look at it from fly-throughs. That way I can kind of control where we're at here. It's a pretty big overview preview map that they put out, demonstration. And I'll just kind of pan back here, and then we'll come in at it. There was a lot of hype around this pack coming out, and when they finally released it, it was a pretty big deal. So you got this, looks like a couple islands out here and a broken bridge. You got a little lighthouse out here in the middle. Looks like a cargo or barge ship of some type with some turned over containers. My guess it's probably biological waste, which is going to cause some type of certain zombie infestation. But you got some different buildings in various states of decay here. Looks like a couple of them broken off. Pretty nice trees. Now everything that you see in this package is part of the Apocalypse pack, so you may see some of these assets. I'm not sure. I don't know this for a fact. You may find some of these assets in some of the other packs, and they've combined them in here to give you, a little bit more value for your money. But let's see if there's anything in here. I see these actually have interiors in them, so that means you could rip those doors off of there, or probably even swing those doors open and populate the interiors of some of these buildings. So that's pretty cool. Got ladders with some rooftop access. Big, giant, sprawling buildings over here. Again, these have interiors as well, so these are great. Looks like multi-story interiors. Yeah, this is really cool. Kind of reminds me like I'm playing a little bit of a PUBG style game already. Just kind of zooming around here, but I mean, there you go. You got your like a 5-story building there with rooftop access also. Looks like there's a stairwell there. Yeah. So you could actually, we could drop a character right here. Let's hit Alt P to play. And it looks like I got to do something with the character mesh here. Look at that. Caught you, Synty. Not a big fan of that. Let's see if I walk out here. Yeah, I fall off now. Let's see. So yeah, they just for whatever reason, there's collision meshes on these that are turned on. So I'd have to go and kill those to get inside of that building. Not too difficult to do, but kind of surprising that it is that way. Not sure I'm in love with that. Let's see if they're all like that. Nah, there we go. So some of those, maybe they did it just to keep you from getting over to the edge too far. I don't know. But you got some interior stuff in here you can run around in. You know, if you're out there, you want to give a shout out as you're dropping by. The reason I'm doing these live streams is so that if you have questions, something you want me to focus in on to show you inside of the package, it gives me an opportunity to do that live. I can't do that from a static video that I just uploaded. And then if nobody gets on or says anything, you know, I'd basically get off of here and go and do some other stuff. But I'm also setting up a couple of other outlets and direct connections for people that may be getting started with the packages or just in, you know, some of the game concepts in general that I might be able to help out with. I'm setting up a private server for my Discord to be able to have some of the guests from YouTube get in there. And, you know, I was thinking earlier, it might be a cool opportunity also if there are other game devs, indie game devs who want to get on and talk. We could probably hook up in Discord and do a shared live stream session on the gaming channels. If anybody's interested in that, my Discord link is in there. And, you know, you catch up with me and we could work out the details for that type of thing. So, again, just kind of running around out here in the Apocalypse map. Tons and tons and tons of assets and resources in here for that price. You can just imagine just a massive battle royale style game or survival game, I guess, really. But even other than that, I mean, this could be by itself a map for any kind of like horror survival type game. You get the right type of lighting on here. Games like Dead by Daylight or whatever. Not Dead by Daylight. Is that what it was called? Maybe it was. It was the one where you're kind of like running around the city and you got to assemble different weapons and gear and stuff like that to make it through. But you know, you could certainly have a thing where you got to clear out a certain number of enemies before you could pass on to the next zone here and just do like wave-based combat. I don't know if I can get in through there. Nah, my character's a little big and I'm not a real big fan of the way that these things jump. This is not a Synty issue. This is a Unreal Engine issue. Never have been in love with the hang time that this guy's getting right out of the box, and I'm sure it has something to do with the way his physics are being applied, or doesn't know what the gravity of a human is on whatever this planet is. I think I saw these tents one time on my way to Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. I think these were on the side of an exit ramp somewhere. Could have set a couple little trash fires out here. And what else we got? Let's see. Escape out of here and zoom back out. Burned out. I mean, it's just crazy, this level of detail these guys put in for these maps and the number of assets you're getting in here. And there's some people actually camping out on a rooftop. That's pretty cool. Over here it looks like same type of thing. That's probably the rooftop you want to get onto right there. You got a rope to get up to it. Pretty cool. This would be a good drop point for somebody. Spawn up here. They got a couple different ropes. Look at that. Pretty cool. What else we got going on down here? I almost feel like you could take this and put the either the Battle Royale pack or the Warfare pack in here. And maybe, excuse me, it is late. Maybe do a couple cool things there. There's somebody who didn't make it. Hospital beds right out in the middle of the street. I apologize if you have kids and these cartoon images are a little graphic for you. They probably shouldn't be up at midnight anyway. But if they're watching this in the daytime, I apologize. Not my intent to freak people out with these. Call Hal now. Better call Hal. Instead of Sal. Let's see what we got down in here. Just a crazy, crazy, crazy. I say it all the time with these guys, but you know, it's just a crazy amount of assets. And the way that I got into Synty in the first place is, you know, from a low budget indie game dev perspective, you're kind of looking to fill up your arsenal of assets and supplies and stuff with, you know, a wide array of things at a very inexpensive price. And these guys deliver high quality, interlocking, uniform assets that work together. You know, when I don't say, shouldn't say interlocking. That makes them sound more modular than probably what they are, but they're basically they work well together. They've carried a very consistent build style and quality throughout everything that they put out, and I really feel like you could drop any asset from their packs into any of these other ones. Now they're going to look at a place maybe if you drop a Viking into the middle of a battle royale apocalypse, you know, or a zombie game or something like that. But my point is the style looks good either way. I mean, even down to the litter and the debris that they got here. It's just nuts. You wouldn't have to really do much to rebuild this level except maybe clear out some collision meshes. Oh my god, I'm tired. Sorry again for being such a late night, but it's kind of hoping that I can bounce this out of here, and then I want to go and work on some different stuff I got on the back burner. And I've been doing these the last couple of nights, and this is going to be the last one for a while, I think, where I'm featuring any kind of asset packs or whatever. I want to get back to doing the tutorials. I don't typically do live streams. I typically do, you know, very concise to the point, short chunk tutorials. But as I said earlier, I'm working on that, getting a server set up so that, you know, if there are people who want to work on game concepts or get more in depth with something, I could do that there without tying up the, you know, the YouTube channel. You kind of put yourself out there with these live videos, and you know, people come by, and so far I've been pretty well received in the community. But you know, you get people every once in a while just come by and drop thumbs downs on your videos, and you know, just trying to help people out here. And like I said, I tried to make a disclaimer in the very beginning of these that these aren't tutorials; these are just random live streams. But some people probably don't read; they're too busy clicking the little thumbs down button. And not that I care about the thumbs down that much. That's not why I'm leaving there. But I just, I really feel like it would be better to help people in a more of a private environment, you know. So, you know, the nice thing about Discord is once you get it all set up, you can have a lot of people in there, and I can stream just like I am here, but we could actually do voice chat, which makes it a little bit more productive because you can ask your questions quicker, and things like that. So if you have an interest in joining me in that, you know, that Discord endeavor, there is a link to my Discord server in the description of this video, and I'll go back and timestamp this, even though there's really not much going on here. But yeah, you could get in there, and I can put you in the other room. Judgment Day is here. I can put you in the other room, and we can go and get that all set up. And if you have specific questions or whatever, I can try to answer them. But hopefully you get a chance to see what's going on here with this map. Again, you know, you can always pause, slow down, and give me some feedback. Or, you know, zoom in on these assets. Now, I did see somebody else's stream the other day was playing this, and they said that these collision meshes for this also got jacked up. It's actually not bad. Nah, he went down into the hole there. They could be a little bit lower, but yeah, it's still better than him floating up on top of it, so at least something to work with. And most of these are normally pretty good with their collision meshes. It's just weird that one building was kind of jammed up. So that is the demo for Apocolypse. For the large demonstration map. Actually, no, it's not. I didn't hit this little section of town over here. Wow. There's a construction zone. Looks like some cooling towers from a late 70s, early 80s boiling water reactor. Looks like some places I've been. And here's a trailer park. Oddly enough, also looks like some places I've been. Except we didn't have one of those. A merry-go-round? Nah. You had to go to a city park or something for one of those. Is that the ice cream guy? Ah. Oh, poor guy. Crazy. You should really go and check out the map that they put together for this on there, or the demo scene that they put together for this is pretty cool. It actually shows you some of the different characters that are in there and stuff. And that's the other thing I want to do real quick in here. I will go into the content browser and pull up some of the assets in there just so you kind of see them if you didn't get out there, because there are also in the meshes. You saw most of these building components and things out there. Try and zoom these up a little bit for you. And just hit pause, and go and look at these. But just keep in mind as I'm scrolling down through here, just the sheer volume of content that you're getting for that price at $150 until the end of May. Pretty hard to pass up. That's why I bought them. Characters, you got, can I zoom this in some? Give you a little better peek there. So they have characters, character attachments, and then it looks like they're all on the businessman skeleton here. So that's cool. And then in the attachment section, what do we have? So different types of armor. Shoulder armor, knee armor. Business male hair. Pink hair. A couple of gas masks and spikes and different types of hats and hairs and hockey masks and all kinds of stuff. So that maybe they took a little bit of the purge and put in here too. Then I guess. What was in bodies? These are all your different all your different dead body placements you can put out there. The environmental assets give you some trees and ground cover, different plants and vegetation, which are in a lot of their packages. Looks like modular pieces for motorway bridges and roadways. Pretty cool. Generic. More vegetation. A lot of different items in this package here overall. Get yourself an air horn, some alcohol. A lot of alcohol. Ammo. Binoculars. As I was saying the other night, when these guys are, even said it earlier in this one, when they set these things up, I mean, they really get your mind working with all the different things that could be created with these asset packs. And this is just a lot of stuff to take in. I can't do it justice in a couple minutes of a fly through. I mean, you really got to go and look at their website and pull up the still images and kind of glance at them, stuff like that. And billboards and twisted up and bent bikes, hospital beds, bloodstains, everything you can think of to bring down the apocalypse. Yeah, like I said, even with if you didn't populate it with zombies and all that kind of stuff, you still got a lot of assets you could use towards war games and like battle royale survival type stuff. Just crazy the number of assets. And they've separated them in this package into assets. Again, pause your video if you want to see more of these. I'm just going to scroll down through them. I'm not going to linger on too many screens for too long because I don't want to drag this out any longer than I have to. But you keep on zipping down through there. And they even have rigged props in here. Which basically the rigged props just mean that each one of these has a skeleton so that you can interact with moving around. So like the hospital bed, the hospital bed has a skeleton on it. So if you go to the skeleton tray, looks like you're going to be able to grab a hold of the wheels and animate that these wheels are moving, or some other feature that's in here. You got gurney. So they got the gurney legs. Twist those around. So they're going to be able to take those legs and like fold them up, and then when you bring the gurney out or whatever, you can drop them down. If you're doing some different animations with cutscenes and stuff like that. It's pretty much why they make them rigged, so you can animate them however you want to, within reason. I wonder what's in the shopping cart. Got a lot of stuff going on there. Right rear, right left, wheel guards. That's crazy. So there's some prop stuff. Then you got the vehicles in here. A lot of different vehicles. Ambulances and army trucks. You got just tons and tons of stuff. Again, if you're just joining me, I'm doing live streams just to kind of feature some of the Synty asset packs doing their sale for the 50% off that ends at the end of May. And I'm just going to show these last couple of packs. This is my last live stream video probably for the series. Maybe for the week. I might get back on again this weekend. Not sure. Might even get back on again later on the night if people drop by and have a bunch of questions. Here's some attachments for the vehicles. And their videos at the website really do justice for all these. But this is all Synty Apocolypse. Various weapons. And let me click in there. You got the bayonets, all kinds of stuff. Pretty crazy. Scopes. Again, like I said, you could easily imagine doing a survival game just using these assets, even if you take away the apocalyptic aspect of it, get rid of the zombies, and just turn it into like a battle royale or survival. Like, what's that game, DayZ or whatever? You know, you drop in and you've got like a piece of fruit, and you have to find your way to the base in Russia or something like that. Haven't played it yet, but I was watching it the other night. But you could probably build a game like that out of these assets pretty easy. You know, I actually thought about a long time ago, and you guys can steal this idea, feel free. But I actually thought about doing a PUBG style game where instead of a wave of the, you know, having the circle close in on you or whatever, that would actually just be zombies closing in on you, and whoever gets to the final stage of that thing and survives or whatever is the one that I guess finds the cure, makes their way out, you know, survival. But I thought it'd be pretty cool to play against a mix of, you know, AI with zombies and real players. And you can set up a lot of interesting scenarios there with putting out traps and you know, stuff like that. Could be a pretty cool idea for a game. I'm sure somebody else has done it. You know, if I just thought of it, that I didn't just think of it, but if I thought of it and said it just now, somebody's probably already built that thing 10 times over. It's probably a game that's out there already. If it's out there, let me know. I'll go play it instead of trying to worry about building it someday. This is nice too. Look at this. So you've got different mod components for all your different weapons. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen them do this before in any of the other packs, but so you can literally mix and match and build your own hodgepodge guns. That's pretty cool. Somebody will probably build a random weapon generator for this. I'm sure there is one already. Procedural generator weapons. These also have skeletons. It's basically, a skeleton is going to give you the ability to also have a socket, and then with a socket you can attach one thing to another. So if you go in some of these, they probably have weapon mod body 37 skeleton. It's a magazine. But you would think that some of these probably have a socket in them. And I have this turned on to show, I'm in the physics model actually. But yeah, you could put a socket on those and connect them together in some way. You can also, I think you can take them and build a blueprint and then attach the weapons in there. That's pretty cool. So on this one here, they have a handgun that somebody's attached an extension onto and made a, you know, stabilizing grip or whatever, and then a recoil pad or whatever, recoil shock absorber type thing. That's pretty neat. Be interesting to hook these up. I might go and play around with the idea of hooking these up in the prefabricator plugin that I have. See how that all works out. I'm going to show you guys a tip and a trick at the end of this video that I think will help some people. It's been driving me crazy the whole time I've been doing these live streams. I finally figured out how to get rid of it. Well, I didn't figure out how to get rid of it. I finally figured out how to look it up on Google and get rid of it because it was just driving me crazy. But there's that. That was the Polygon Apocolypse kit, and now we're going to go into Polygon City Zombies, which there's not that many of these in here to worry about, but at least I'll show them to you real quick. So again, I'm just going to pause my screen for a second, let you kind of soak that in, and then I'll scroll down. And that's really all that's in here that I brought into this kit. But there you go. And what this tip is basically, I'll do it in here real quick before I jump to the other map. Actually, let me belay that idea. I'll do it when I come back because I'm going to timestamp these, so it'll be easier for me to timestamp that we did Apocalypse and City Zombies, jumped into the other map. Then I can put all the other randomized stuff that comes up at the end instead of interrupting the videos with something silly. So while we're loading this up, we'll talk about that Synty Polygon sale again, 50% off till the end of May. Go to my library here, and I should have another map for you. This is Gang WarFare. I'm going to be loading up in the background here. But again, 50% off their top 3D assets. And this is under the Polygon series. They have asset bundles in here to give you an additional 10% off when you buy whatever their asset bundle package is. The one that we're talking about tonight is... Oh, look, they did have Battle Royale with Apocalypse. I probably said that the other night and didn't even cognitively remember that that was what I said. But if you buy them in a bundle, you also get an additional 10% off, so you're at 60% off the original price. This is normally $300, and these are normally $50. So they're giving you 50% off plus another 10% for buying them in the bundle pack. So really not a bad deal. I have those three. I have these two. I have those three. I have those three. I have those three. I have those three. Those three. So I got all the bundles. I bought them before they were bundles. And even just recently when I bought Polygon Apocolypse, I couldn't bundle it because I already had City Zombies and Battle Royale. So I couldn't take advantage of that additional 10% off. But I also bought the Gang WarFare, which is what we're getting ready to look at now. And that should be loaded up in the background there. Gang WarFare. And I got a Paragon Greystone character in there that has something to do with a completely different thing that I'm working on. Polygon Gang WarFare. Let's see their demonstration map. And then, like I said, after I get done with this, I'll show you the tip and trick for the day because it may help you. It helped me out a lot already. And what it basically pertains to is that if you have any kind of virtual reality hardware on your machine, any VR kits or whatever, somehow one day I got this thing flipped into this state where every time I start a new game, if I have VR kits, this thing wants to load my VR stuff. And it was driving me absolutely crazy. And I went, every time I'd have to go into settings, I'd have to go into plugins, scroll down here and go down to virtual reality, and then I'd have to go down to the Oculus and shut it off, and I'd have to go down to the Steam VR and shut it off. And this was like crazy because every time I'd hit play, it would try and fire it up. Every time I'd create a new map, it would start it up. And it's just shutting the thing down over and over and over again. Well, finally, went and did some research, and the fix for that, I'm going to get into right after this video. I'm just letting the shaders compile. The fix for that, though, is basically you go into the folders and you modify the configuration files for the plugins. There's a trigger in there that says default equals yes or no. I got it's funny. I forgot to flip that back. So I got the Paragon Greystone character running around inside of the Synty world. And it says bad size. Yeah, I guess it would be. That's funny. I guess we could do that. So we grab our player start and just drag it up a little bit. That'll get rid of that bad size thing. It's just that his mesh is getting clipped in there. So if you have a hold of a mesh and you just hit the end key, it'll slam it down to the ground space. So I'll hit play, and you're gonna have this craziest thing ever is gonna be the Paragon Greystone character inside of the Gang WarFare pack. Oh, that's funny stuff. Go in here and zoom it out. That's pretty rich. He's not gonna do damage to anything because none of that's set up, but that's amazing. He looks pretty big compared to a lot of that stuff. This guy here. You don't want to talk, huh? Alright, so let's go real quick. We'll go into our third-person blueprint and change the third-person game mode to go back to the third-person character. So here's another tip for you while we're loading that up. If you go into the game mode, I brought the Paragon character in here because I was talking to somebody about doing some stuff with the animations from it. And from the Paragon Greystone character, if you go into your third-person game mode and change the default pawn class to your, in this case, it was the Greystone player character, it'll take a minute to load everything up, but once it does, you'll be able to pop right in there. So, you just switch it there, and it brings over the character with all their animations intact and all their blueprints ready to go, and you don't have to retarget anything. You just point it, starting that map. So I talked about that in another video. It's called Paragon character retarget fastest method yet, or something like that. And it literally takes like a couple seconds to set the whole thing up if you know what you're doing once you figure it out. So let's get out of here. Let's get out of there. Alright, so there's this map. We'll get down to street level. Okay. So you got a lot of different assets in this one too. We saw some of these just a second ago. I guess there's really no way around these. Some of these you want to put a character in them just to kind of even look at stuff. And to see that right there where the map comes rolling in. We talked about that last night too. But we'll turn that on. If you haven't, just go back and watch the other live stream video. That guy's movement speed's pretty high. But you got a bunch of stuff in here. These things are... The hell? Yeah. Gotta get to some spot where I can get this thing zoomed back out right. Let me go in here and change my camera speed down a little bit. And go back in there. Okay. So that's a little slower. That's a little bit better. Sorry, sometimes that thing gets all jacked up and it's zipping all over the place. It's really not that much use for that. Looks like we got a little counterfeit money operation going on here and some other random illicit activity from Synty Town's most dangerous and deadly gangs, the Driscolls. Nah, it's a different game. But you could very quickly see yourself playing a game like this, like a cross between Grand Theft Auto and Zombie Apocalypse stuff with PUBG, I feel like this one's a little congested. I feel like we're doing a great job of showing us here. Just because everything's so piled up, the building interior is really where all the magic's at, though. I feel like with this one, I'll just show you their trailer video because you're going to see almost everything you need to in that trailer video, and it's 10 times better than me walking around in here trying to figure out where the hell I'm at and what's what. So if you looked at, let's watch their video. You got the Cinco toys in here, and if you go to their website and you look at Gang WarFare, Pull up their preview map. Let that play in the background and give you your overview. So if you don't see what's going on here, you got this company called Sicko Toys that's making, toys out of basically cocaine and other drugs. That's what the gist of this is. And then the DEA, which is down here, Drug Enforcement Agency, is here to bust up their operation. And Agent Flatface is hot on the case. Dude looks like somebody from a George Michael's video. So there it is, Synty Studios Polygon WarFare pack. Great value, $30. Gives you some pretty cool stuff to mix in with other game assets and everything. And wanted to go and show you the tip that I had mentioned. So, as I was saying in my... Well, if anybody has any questions, feel free to let me know. But if not, thanks for stopping by and checking out the live stream. Here's the tip. If you go into the plugins section, ordinarily you got these things in here where, you can go in here and enable or disable these things or whatever. And a lot of times, every time you start up, let's say you got plugins to manage until you go into the engine and say, this is what I want. Okay, so inside of your folder, wherever this thing's been installed, mine happens to be on this drive here, and I think it's under, let's see, where's it at? There's a plugins folder, basically. I was in there just a little while ago. Wonder if it's stuck in my quick access or history. Recent files, nah. Nope. All right, so if you go and you do some some research where your plugin folder is. So let's go UE4 plugin folder. And you're going to find it in the program files, Epic Games 4.6 or whatever engines, right? So when you go to your plugin folder, I think mine's going to be here. My D drive. And it's under Epic Games. And then whatever version of your engine you're in. So in this case, it's, let's say 423. And then you're going to go into the engine and then the plugins folder. And inside of the plugins folder, you're going to have the different plugins that were installed on that engine. And so in the AI folder, for example, you had a couple different options there. And let's see, mine must have been installed back a different version. Let's go back to 424. Engine plugins. And one of them was under runtime. And under runtime, under your different things for like Oculus, you go into Oculus VR and then you got this Oculus VR plugin. Okay. If you have Notepad++, you can click on this and say edit with Note++. You can also do it with any text editor. But you see this down here where it says enabled by default? If you set that to false and save it, and you want Notepad++ for most of these because this has script in it and everything, and it's not compiled in any way that I know of, but it's a U plugin file, and you just want to not disturb the format of it. And Notepad++ is a free utility and pretty good at that kind of stuff. But if you go here and turn that off, then what'll happen is it'll stay off until you flip it on again. And so now every project you create doesn't have that embedded in it. Conversely, you should also be able to go back to this the runtime library And if you have something that you always want to be on in there, then you should be able to turn that on as well. So I'm not going to do that right this second, but on the ones for the VR kit, I shut off the one for Oculus, and then you also have the one for Steam, and Steam's got the same problem. Steam VR, you go into the plugin, edit with Notepad+++, go down here and find the enable by default, and just turn that to false. So that'll help you out quite a bit with that. So I am done, I think, unless you want to see some more of this stuff. I showed you the overview there. We can go into the meshes real quick, give you a blown up overview of some of the buildings. Scale these up some. So there's the buildings that are in that gang warfare pack. Okay. There's your characters, which I showed you all this stuff out there, but I'll just zoom in on thumbnails for a second. But again, if you go in there and you disable those plugins or enable the plugins that you want to always be on, it'll save you a little bit of time and energy every time you start up a new project, having to go in there and set all those options. You're just looking for the line in any of those plugin U asset things that say enabled by default equals true or false. What's happening, Mowu? No, it's no problem, man. I had a couple people bouncing in and out, and I'm actually getting ready to wrap this up anyway because like I said, I just wanted to kind of plow through getting these asset pack things out there for people. I don't think I've done this one for the gang warfare. I don't think I've done this one much justice. A lot more stuff here than maybe what you saw, but if you go back and look through the video or go through their website, you'll see all the different thumbnails there. Tons and tons and tons of stuff. And again, good value for the money. Depending on what kind of game you're trying to buy, if you jump on that website and you look around, kind of get an idea of your theme, these assets are pretty good for that. But the one thing I wanted to get back to tonight, once I get off of here, I'm actually looking at a plugin on the marketplace. I bought it a long time ago. It's called the Mixamo Animation Retarget or something. And it's specifically geared towards retargeting animations from Mixamo. And it says that it'll also add a root bone to the skeleton. Well, about a month ago, maybe, I did a root bone animation tutorial with a Blender plugin for version 2.8, where you bring the plugin in and you open up a folder and do a batch conversion of all your different Mixamo stuff, and get it converted over for using root bone. But if this does that all in one shot, it might be my new go-to plugin. And what I want to see is if I can convert from the uh, Mixamo stuff directly to a Synty character. And the second thing I'm going to work on kind of came up with, like Mowu just tapped on. I don't know if, I guess you say it Mowu. If I'm incorrectly pronouncing that, let me know sometime. But if you go in here, oops, you'll see that I was talking earlier, I had this Paragon Greystone character in here. Well, Paragon Greystone was one of my favorite characters because I like the way that the character moves. And if you go into this is outside the topic, but we're done with the other video anyway, so I'll just put this under random stuff. But if you go into the character or into the Paragon Greystone in general, there's usually a map section in here, but on this one they stick it with the character. They get a character map. And if you go to this little asset thing here, it shows you the um, okay. Shows you how his animation blueprints what I wanted to do a long time ago, because I love the way that these characters lean when they're running around corners and everything. I really like their animation. I like the strafing motion on them and everything else. And I could never figure out how to get a decent retarget of these characters onto different skeletons. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and work out the details of either doing a placement of the assets or a retargeting of them. What I'm going to do is delete the Paragon Greystone skeleton and reassign it to the mannequin. Synty. That would be my last resort kind of thing. But what I'm thinking is if I can get that to work, then I would have all of the animations from every one of the Paragon characters available as basically free animations for my Synty character. There and strip those like I did the other night to the advanced locomotion system to have that extra library. Many animations, but you never know. If you had a character in Paragon that did something similar to a character you'd want to do in one of your own games and you wanted to use Synty resources, it's certainly reasonable to assume that you could go in there and find that. And those Paragon characters, if you haven't seen those before, they're in the free content for Unreal Engine. Again, I never know who's stopping by these videos, so if you go into Unreal Engine and you go into the marketplace, and under the marketplace, browse, and you have free content, and you go to Epic Games content that's free, and I usually put this on like 100 per page because there's a lot of stuff in here. But in here somewhere, you're going to have these Paragon characters that they released all around the same time. So you got, I mean, look at the ratings and reviews on these, 4 and 5 stars for, 165 character reviews or whatever. But for example, if you found a character who, as I was saying, did something similar to what you wanted, like this guy here, Twin Blast, looks like he's a dual weapon fighter. So there you go. The Twin Blast character, if you're doing a shooter where you want the person to have 2 guns and you like this guy's animation set, then it might be reasonable to take him in there. So I'm gonna check it out and I'll let you know what I come up with that might end up being another live stream topic or something. But he comes with all these different meshes that fit on that body. I'm really just interested in his animations. I'm in the market for harvesting animations from these characters. But there's a bunch of those in there. Again, if, like I said, you go into that Epic content and show 100 per page or whatever and find Paragon, you're probably going to find something on a Paragon character that you could use on one of your characters. They have a lot of stuff on there. And should be pretty easy, I'm hoping, to leverage those assets. We've also got all this stuff in here too. Any of these Soul City, Soul Cave, we talked about those the other night. And the Infinity Blade stuff kind of goes with those. And then you've got Paragon assets, which have a lot of their own really beautiful architecture stuff. So if you just go in here and search for Paragon and Paragon, and just search for Paragon assets. Actually, do it up here. Paragon. My goodness, I'm so tired. Okay. Pull up Paragon, not only do you get all these characters for free, and they are definitely, they say they're AAA quality assets, they definitely are. You not only get all these characters for free, but they also have some announcer voices, and you've got some scenery in here that's pretty cool. That's interesting. Anim Warp plus IK. Animation warping and orientation warping as seen in Paragon, plus a sophisticated foot and pelvis IK system. I might have to check that out. I never knew that was in there. But again, for free assets and stuff from the library, it's really one of your go-to spots if you're just getting started with all these things, and try and figure out how to take that character and put it into a different game, and then trying to take different game modes and apply them and things like that. It'll help you out with your skills. And you don't have to spend any money to do that. It doesn't cost you anything to take the Paragon Narbash character and try and figure out how his skeletal rig was made, and then see if you can get this weapon out of his hand and replace it with a hatchet or something, or you take that character and you make that hatchet something that he can go down and chop wood and pick up a piece of lumber. Those are all free resources, and they look great. And usually if you're working with free stuff that looks good, it helps you, kind of keep into it because you're coming up with something cool. It's not like you're, animating stick figures on the back of a matchbook or something. This is like next level stuff. Unreal Engine is a pretty big asset, and they're getting into a lot of stuff with like live action production and film. If you look at all the different stuff that they're doing in here with the architecture, automotive, transportation, and broadcast and live events, film and television, and training and simulation, my guess is that if you learn how to use this software pretty well and how to do different things in here, there's probably a future in this for people to, to sell some different skill sets for companies. A lot of people like to hire animators and digital content providers and things like that. So might be your gateway in. But anyway, this is it's the end of my live stream. It's my rant for the night. Not really ranting, but just kind of sharing some stuff with you. I always like to do a little tip or a little wrap up at the end of the video. But thanks again for watching tonight. And, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourself, take care of each other. And I will see you in a future video. Again, my Discord link is in the description. If you guys want to get together and chat about game stuff in a more direct way that's not tied up on the YouTube channel, feel free to hit me up and maybe we'll get a session together. Take care of yourself and have a fantastic evening. Catch you soon. Bye-bye. TC Gaming.